Hello once again. Today I have here a parts caster, which are both Squier guitars. So the neck is a neck from Squier Vintage Modified 70's from 2016, if I can remember it correctly, or maybe 2017. I cannot remember the exact year, but I modified it again to lightly scalloped fretboard with jumbo fret wires in here. So it's the scalloping is shallow, and this is a laurel fretboard which is very dark. That's why I really love it. And this has been a project of mine ever since 2017. I think I scalloped the fretboard around that year too. I can't remember for sure. And I tried to emulate I tried to put back the grains which it originally had by using a metal brush. So I brushed the fretboard with metal brush so that it can show those long lines of the grains on the fretboard. But the fretboard is very dark, so I decided to put it on a Squier FSR Strat that I got from Thomann. Oh no, actually Andertons, from Andertons UK. This body originally had a maple neck with a maple fretboard. This is actually a Classic Vibe Squier 70's Strat, which is a Fender Select run. That was only available in Thomann, Andertons, and Sweetwater at that time. I think it was last year, or is it? I can't remember if it's 2021. And I also modified this to have DiMarzio pickups. Here are 3 DiMarzio pickups. This is HS3, and then this is Area 61. I decided to put both HS3 here instead of HS4 on the neck, just to have a different variation, because most of my guitars have either at least most of my guitars that I modify to YGM specs, I put HS3 here and HS4 here, but I thought maybe I just put HS3 and HS3 here just to know the difference or hear the difference. The middle one I don't usually use, so I decided not to buy the HS series DiMarzios. Instead, I just put a spare DiMarzio Area 67. I had that lying around for a few years. Electronics original. I haven't modified them yet into better ones. So these are stock potentiometers. This one I have modified. I think it's Ernie Ball 3-way switch, because I think I spoiled the old one from playing too much Yngwie Mountain songs. So I use this a lot, just like Yngwie. So I spoiled the original one. It didn't last too long, so I replaced it to the Ernie Ball one, which is a lot better and more durable. I cannot show you the back because it's still the back is closed with but I modified the trem block on this with the brass one that I got from Musically. It's a seller from China, but they sell a lot of stuff that is cheap that you can modify for your cheaper guitars. So this one plays really nice. Although I made a brass I'm planning to make a brass nut for it, but in the meantime I made a bone nut just to see how low I can get the strings to go on the string height. Actually, it's quite low. It doesn't have any buzz, but I feel like the string action is too low for me. It feels too comfortable, and I think I'm going to change this into a brass one, a brass nut again with a slightly higher string height, because the neck on this is really thin. It's not really thin, but it's very comfortable, and with the action too low, I feel like it's too low and it's too comfortable. That I don't want to have a different setup with my other scallop guitars, which have a higher action than this one. So I'm going to make a brass nut, and I'm just gonna put the string height a little bit higher because this one's too comfortable. So I decided to put this together because back in 2017 I bought a YJM rosewood fretboard Stratocaster, and around 2018 I got into a little bit of a medical emergency, and I had to sell that one, which now I really regret and I kind of miss. But it's been quite a long time that the YJM rosewood fretboard Strat is not available here where I live, in the country where I live, because I don't know why the Fender Strats here, the YJM Strats, have been very scarce. Most of the stocks that come in are maple neck, and I already have 4 YJM Strats with maple neck, and I really like one with a rosewood fretboard. So while I haven't gone into buying any one yet, I decided to put this together just yesterday as something that could pacify my my guitar acquisition syndrome. It plays really nice. I think it sounds the same as the others, but the most important thing is if the neck is very comfortable and easy to play. It makes the guitar play like it's a very expensive guitar, because I've had very expensive guitars that don't really play nice, and I'd have to set it up just to have it play to my liking. And this is the cheap ones. Actually, the the Squier Classic Vibe FSR, this body with the neck, with this original guitar with the neck, cost me about 800 $700 USD, I think, from Andertons, because it's not available here in the country where I live. So I had to ship it in from UK, which costs a lot of money with the shipping. I think the shipping is about 150 USD plus tax when it comes here, about $70 tax for DHL. And this was originally supposed to be the Project Yngwie Strat with the maple neck. But then I remembered I had the Vintage Modified 70's from 2017 in the storage, so I took it out, and I remember I scalloped the fretboard lightly, and I changed the fret wires into jumbos. So yesterday I was playing with them both, and I decided to just swap the necks, and this is what came out of it, which looks really nice, and I love it as a vintage style tuners, which split shaft there. You can put the strings inside, so you don't have to deal with puncturing your fingers while you're, not that it always happens, but the the end of the string you have to put inside and then wind it so that it's not going to puncture your fingers. And I really like it. I really love that concept from Fender. The other ones I really don't like, but I have a way of winding them that the string doesn't have to protrude outside of the hole in here. But these are a lot better. One string tree, reminiscent of the early 70s Strat, which I love. I don't like the two string trees headstocks. I only like the one string tree. It has an ugly truss rod access here, which I don't like. It makes it look cheap, but it works. I'm planning on maybe removing a part of the black this black thing here, and maybe put a 70's bullet truss rod adjustment nut inside, if it's gonna work. I have a spare bullet truss rod nut for a Japanese Fender, but I'm not sure if it's gonna fit, if it's long enough or what, because the truss rod on these Squiers, I think they have different length. So if I put the truss rod nut inside, it might not be too long, and I still will not see it protrude outside here, which will not make any difference at all. But I think I will try that the next time I replace the strings, so that I don't waste the strings. By the way, for the strings I use, instead of buying YGM strings, which are 8 to 46, I just buy two sets of strings. The Ernie Ball 8 to 42, which is just new, I think it came out last year. So the string gauge is 8 to 42, and then I buy a 9 to 46, and then whenever I put the strings on all of my YGM Specs guitars, I just put the 8 to 42. I remove the 42 gauge, and then I replace it with a 46 from the 9 to 46. And then the strings from the string set of the 9 to 46 I put in my guitars that have Floyd Rose, which are always better with 9 to 42. So I just mix and match, and I don't have to buy one set of Yngwie mountain strings that are more expensive, and it's about the same price of the two strings of the 8 to 42 and 9 to 46, and I can string two guitars with it. But before I used to buy the YGM strings, which cost double, and they work the same. And again, the grains of the wood I tried to put it back using steel brush and just brush it like that, and it made it look like it still have the grains there, and it doesn't make it look like it has been scalloped. Because originally the fretboard was like that. You can see this part here, there. The lower fretboard has those small grains there, so I wanted to put it back on all the frets, so that it doesn't look different from the first end to the last end here. This is the original one that I didn't touch. I hope you can see it. It's a bit of dark. Slightly rounded fret edges, so that it doesn't cut my fingers when I slide out from the 12th fret to the 21st. Classic Vibes have standard strat body thickness, unlike the other Squiers that have thinner bodies like Affinity and Bullet Squiers, and these are made to Fender specs. It's just that the body is basswood, and this one seems to have very soft basswood body. Yesterday I was when I tried to put when I put the neck together, uh, I tried to put a little bit of dent using my fingernails on this part of the neck pocket, and it really dents really easily. I can't remember if this is basswood or not, but it sounds nice to a Marshall. Pickups are okay. Maybe I need to change the potentiometers, but overall it's a good guitar. Plays really well, but in fact too well that I might have to modify the nut a bit to give it a little bit of a fight in there, because now it really feels like it's very fast, and I don't like it like that. I like it with a little height on the string action. And one thing I want to show is the serial numbers on these guitars from Indonesia. They only put after it has been finished, so you can remove the serial number. This one, if I try to remove it alcohol, this will be removed. So the serial number I removed. I only left this part here. I wanted to write something here, like maybe modified by me on this date, so that I know when I did the modifications, or if somebody else will buy it, then they will know it's a modified version and not some unique version of a Strat that they might pass off as something that is a limited edition, which I've seen people do before. So I'm not going. I don't want, but I don't think I'm going to sell the guitar anyway. Once I have modified the guitar to my liking, I think I've invested some emotions with it, and I'm not gonna be selling it anytime sooner. So that's it. My modified Squier Classic Vibe Vintage Modified neck, 70's neck with scallop fretboard and jumbo fretboards, and Squier Classic Vibe body with DiMarzio pickups, which means it's a modified to Yngwie Specs Squier parts caster. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.